Picture losing everything that you cherish. Your life's work, your family, and your home. All in a single bad conversation. Have you ever thought about enduring a slashed income for 2 decades or facing fake accusations? An alarming 65% of adults face these lurking dangers due to an unseen factor called insecure attachment. And here's the scary part. This figure is on the rise. The clock is ticking, and every moment that you remain unaware increases your risk. I am Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist. Now, for those who know me and the newcomers joining us, I have dedicated 15 years to understanding the intricacies of psychology and relationships. And in all these years, time and again, one factor has stood out in the mayhem of shattered relationships, and that is attachment. Now, a special shout out to our loyal members who've been with us on this journey, and a warm welcome to all of you new viewers. I am glad you are here. This is a great video for you to join us on. Now, you might be thinking, what's the big deal about attachment? How could something seemingly so simple be so devastating? So let's dive deep and unearth this mystery, because by the end of this video, not only will you grasp the looming dangers of insecure attachment, but you'll also discover how to safeguard your life against those risks. Now, let's be really clear about this definition. What is attachment and why does it matter? Attachment is the way we learn as children to connect with other human beings, to give and receive love, or we learn that we can't. Securely attached children learn that their parents will care for them, will listen to them, that they are not a burden, that they are loved and cared for, and that they can ask for what they need, and they may trade, not transactionally or exploitatively, but with real love and connection and sharing and mutual fulfillment, and that people value honesty and hard work and intention. That's what they learn in securely attached families. But you can also have insecure attachment, which is broken down into 3 attachment styles, 2 and then a blend. Anxious attachment, which says something is wrong with me, that other people don't like helping me, or don't like spending time with me, or are not happy to see me, and I'm a burden. It's wrong with me on the inside. I am wrong. This is anxious attachment, and it's obsessed with abandonment all the time. So they can't be open to give and receive love. They have to constantly earn love while being terrified they'll be abandoned. There's also avoidant attachment. Something is wrong with other people that when we get into conflicts, they won't be fair with me. Their stress will spiral up and they will take control. They don't care if I get my needs met. There's something wrong with them and all they do is scream at each other. I have to keep them at arm's length and avoid conflict, but manage their feelings so they'll leave me alone. This is avoidant attachment style. Then you can have the blend of 2. Usually in families that were more chaotic and more damaging, you form one, but that's not enough to make you feel safe. So then you get the other one. Then you have an internal and an external. You keep everyone at arm's length, but when they get too close, you become super approval seeking. Or you're super approval seeking and pull people in, but the moment they get too close and they reciprocate that love, you run away because now you're terrified of being that close because you can't trust other people. This is insecure attachment. Now, attachment and secure attachment is the foundation for mutual trust and cooperation in relationships. It paves the way for genuine faith in each other, for transparency, and for mutual fulfillment. It helps you exist in a healthy balance of masculinity and femininity in a couple where you trust each other and fulfill each other's needs. It also helps you live your authentic life, yourself, your full self, and to pass this skill onto your children. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of this video that a staggering 65% of people now, according to the updated research, struggle with broken attachment, that insecure attachment style. That figure is climbing. This could lead to manipulative behavior, to people-pleasing, to instability, lasting resentment, and general misery. You've seen the rise of mental health problems. This, I believe, is directly linked to it. Now, these challenges manifest in real-life horror stories of manipulation, betrayal, and violence. Guys, attachment issues are serious. The following stories I'm about to tell you may shock you, but this isn't to scare you. These stories should make you aware of how serious things can go if you don't attend to this concern. Now, here are some startling, frankly, client stories that I have been allowed to share with from some of my clients, names withheld for privacy. One of my female clients faced a near-death experience when her ex tried to violently intrude into her home because he wasn't getting validated. She closed him out, said, "No, thank you. I can't be with you anymore. I have to get away." And that on the inside flipped him from pushing her away and being a jerk to now I need your validation. You need to look at me. You can't leave me the way my mom did. Broke into her house. She had to call the police as he was breaking in, and he heard her calling the police, screamed, and he took off because his image was everything. But he craved that validation and became a stalker because of attachment issues. That's usually what causes it. One male client that I had, his wife went nuts and set the house on fire while he was sleeping because he wasn't validating her emotions enough. So she convinced herself he was sleeping with her best friend. He absolutely was not, but she was sure he was. And in fact, she was so stressed out from her life, she started using drugs that made her paranoid, that then made her believe that he was sleeping with her. So then she tried to kill him. She went to prison for arson and attempted murder over attachment issues and drug use. One of my male clients got in an argument with his girlfriend, who then began punching him in the face, and when he held up his hands to stop her, kept punching him in the body. He called 911 on the phone and said, "She is attacking me. I am not fighting back. Please come help." And as they were coming, she started punching him as hard as she could in the face. So he grabbed her wrists and said, "Stop, stop, stop." And when the cops arrived, she ran out and said, "He's imprisoning me. Look at my wrists. He's been squeezing them." His face covered in blood and bruises. They grabbed him, threw in handcuffs, threw him on the curb, and interviewed her as a domestic violence victim. And then said, "You're lucky she doesn't want to press charges," laughed at him, unlocked his cuffs, and drove away and left him there. One of my female clients was so anxiously attached that she could not stand up for her own rights. So when her husband cheated on her multiple times, she just quietly said, "Okay, I guess that's all I can get." And then he decided to divorce her. And then he threatened her if she didn't be nice in the divorce. So she just went along with whatever. She ended up getting about 10% of their shared assets because she didn't want to raise a fuss. And then she slipped almost to poverty levels while he was up there as a multimillionaire. Guys, there are so many more bad stories of people who come into me for help. You wouldn't believe the people in my DMs and my emails, in my comment sections. You need to understand, and this is a shocking stat, but 98% of romantic relationships end in a split. This includes dating romances, it includes everything, but 98% of people who get together, even for a little bit, split apart. Attachment makes that far, far, far worse, but the breakups can be heartrending. And let's talk about some real-world celebrity cases I know you've heard of. Remember the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp case? You need to understand attachment to avoid personal and reputational damages from people who will act in bad faith in relationships, people who will hurt you, people who will not care about you and may defame you. There are so many early red flags that are ignored due to insecure attachment. I have a full video on the Amber Heard Johnny Depp case on this channel. If you've been watching for a while, you also saw me dissect the Jonah Hill aftermath of leaked text messages from years later. There's the dangers of different attachment issues spiking years later after a breakup, you guys. This can haunt you for years with a bad ex if they choose to. You also saw my recent video about the Russell Brand controversy, the gray areas that people with attachment issues often operate in. Men with avoidant attachment will push gray areas of consent, will push gray areas of behavior and conduct. And even if other people don't say no, I'm not saying anything about his case, if people don't say no, they take it as it's fine. The other people may not say no because they don't feel comfortable exerting boundaries. Later, then they go to a therapist who says, "You had this and this happen," and they feel like a victim, and then they come out and say, "This was everybody else's fault." Sometimes that happens. Sometimes it legitimately was a violation. And we can't really tell either way, because then it comes down to a he said, she said argument, and nobody has the facts because nobody was communicating clearly. It is crucial for both sides, people who push into gray areas and people who aren't comfortable pushing against those things, crucial that you build this up early on for early intervention. So are you ready to take attachment seriously now? Good. Here's what this means for you. This is not merely about fear, you guys. It's about awareness. Attachment is not a game of Russian roulette. Your fate isn't determined by sheer luck. You don't just get born into a great family or screwed in life. You don't just date somebody randomly and hope that they don't skin you alive or poop on your bed. And these are real stories. You don't just hope. You need to recognize that attachment can go wrong, but understand that it's a completely manageable factor. Your power lies in knowledge and action. So let's talk about 6 ways that you can look for secure attachment in your romantic partners to filter for the best romantic outcomes in your life. The first thing you need to check for is conflict. Test how they handle disputes. Secure attachment means constructive resolutions and sharing and openness and asking you questions, not defending and attacking. It's sharing and working together. Hey, you know what? Tell me more about that. You're experiencing that? Tell me more. You're angry at this. Talk to me about why. I want to understand. A desire to understand you and following up with questions. Or, I didn't do that. That's not my fault. That's actually your fault. No, I didn't do that. No, hey, I'm sorry. I'll fix this. I'll do this. I'll make you happy over here. Deflecting, running away, blaming, manipulating, gaslighting, all kinds of things in conflict. What do? Always check for this. Open communication. Are they open to dialogue, or do they shut you down? Do they want to talk about issues to resolve them? Do they want to share openly their values, their hopes, their goals, their life? Or is it, nope, not telling you that. Nope, you don't need to know that. Nope, I'm the CIA. I control information. If they can be open, you can deal with the truth. Goals and principles. You need to dive into your discussions about these things. What are their priorities in life? Do they align with yours? Do you share beliefs and values and who you are and what you want in life? It's crucial that you make sure these things align, you guys. Their past relationship stories. How do they talk about their exes? My ex is a cannibal rapist who murders people and eats them and collects human ears. And I'm thinking about sending a hitman to kill them. Well, that sounds like 90% of young women today complaining about their covert narcissist ex, right? You're probably thinking that because it's true. We are now conditioned to hate our ex as if they are a monster. Securely attached people don't do that. Hey, you know what? My ex had their challenges. Here's a little bit about that. But I had my challenges too, and we both contributed to it. I wish them well, and here's the lesson I've pulled from it that I'm applying in my life. That's a securely attached person in a breakup. Now, patterns, as they talk about their ex, they will emerge that give insight into their attachment style or just how they deal with conflicts. Their family and friend relationships, how they interact with close ones, that can hint at their attachment behaviors with you. They came from family relationships. How do they act with their family? Do they keep secrets from them? Do they ask you to pretend you're not dating to try to please mom? Pretend we're not having sex. Pretend we're not sleeping together. Mom is kind of a stickler for these things. Let's just pretend. Let's fake it so that she doesn't yell at me. Horrible sign. Don't go for that one, you guys. How do they relate with friends and family? And what are their friends and family like? Do they have good attachment? Do they spend all their time with people who run away from conflicts, or do they spend time with people who build good relationships? Finally, their life choices. Do they live in constant fear all the time? And everything is about getting safe and regulating their nervous system and managing and controlling? Or do they embrace opportunities, especially in relationships? Guys, this will help you filter them. But filtering partners is not the only answer here. I want you to understand the importance of checking for yourself in your attachment, because your attachment is part of the cycle of brokenness or wholeness. So if you want the best romantic relationships, you have got to be at your best. I've got a couple ways for you to do that right now. So reflect on yourself first here. What are your past patterns telling you about yourself? Be aware of how you have acted in previous relationships. What are your patterns saying about you? Do you cycle on the same bad partners? Are you always craving approval? Do you run in to save people? Do you get in a relationship and bail out at the 6-month mark over and over and over again? What are your patterns? Be serious and honest about them. Your openness to feedback. Securely attached individuals can handle feedback and they can grow. Can you? Or does it feel like a threat or a judgment? Does it hurt? What is your relationship like with your loved ones? Reflect on how you interact with your family and friends and how you relate to them. How do you give and receive love? Do you give and receive love? Or are you locked? What relationship choices do you make? Let's also assess your life choices. Are they based on fear? Or are they based on a quest for growth and opportunity? What life have you been building and living so far? If it feels like you're headed down the wrong path right now, you can change. You do not have to continue the same processes of decisions and patterns for your whole life. All of this is alterable starting right now. So if you're ready to change, drop a comment below that says, I want to change, and I will share some resources to help you correct your own path immediately. The big lesson today to remember is this. Understanding and managing your attachment style is not a mere theoretical concept. It is the backbone of how we relate, how we trust, and how we build relationships. Ignoring attachment and its importance can lead to dire, real-life consequences. Now, the risks associated with poor attachment are very real, but they are not inevitable. With this knowledge and intention that you have the power to navigate and build fulfilling and secure relationships in your life. This is not a game of chance, you guys. It is not chance. It is a path that you can carve through conscious choices. The first step is harnessing the power of secure attachment for yourself. And the first step to that is self-awareness. Reflect deeply on your own patterns, your choices, and your relationships. This introspection will not only help you identify, but also rectify other areas that need improvement in your life. Building healthy relationships demands open and transparent communication from you. This doesn't just enhance the trust, but it deepens the mutual understanding. Guys, that provides a foundation to weather challenges together because problems will come. And you cannot build a stable relationship that is insecure. So, if today's insights resonated with you or made you question certain aspects of your relationships, please do not hesitate to reach out. Drop your concerns or your questions or your experiences in the comments below, and I will read them and I will respond. I am Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist. I am here to help you make relationships better. And heads up, sometimes recognizing that mismatch between you and your partner is the first step to building healthier relationships. So if you're currently grappling with the thought that your partner might not be the right fit for you, don't miss my video, The Secret to Letting Go, How to Detach Yourself from a Bad Partner. It's here on this channel. I will see you there.